Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited for you to be here today. My name is Ariana Gonzales. I am a senior here at UK, and I am an integrated strategic communication major. Today, we are here with Marianne, and she is the Assistant Vice President for Student and Academic Support, as well as Adam, who is the Executive Director for University Academic Advising. So good morning and welcome, you two. Are you guys excited?
Yes, thank
Very
you
much
so much.
Thanks for having us. Great
I know
to be with you.
this weather this morning was pretty crazy, so I'm glad we could all make it safely and warm.
Very much.
We're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. I want to know, either one of you can answer this question first, but tell me about your roles in supporting academic success here on campus.
I'll let you start, Adam, if you'd like.
Sure. So my position is a new one. It's really the responsibility and the goal of the position is to integrate advising across our 13 undergraduate colleges, try to create a similar experience for all our students, no matter what college they're in, knowing there's going to be some differences, but we should be able to be, consistent in some ways, support our outstanding academic advisors in the work that they do with students, and try to make Kentucky not just a destination for the greatest students in the world, but the greatest advising professionals in the world.
That's awesome, yes. And what about you, Marianne?
So in addition to getting work with Adam and his team with University Academic Advising, I also have other areas of student support that are a part of my team. So we have things like the Career Center, student support services. We have off-campus, first generation, veterans, CARES program, LGBTQ. So really all different aspects of student identity, or when we think of career services, we are really thinking about holistically all the different ways that we can support students.
That's amazing. And I know before we even started, Adam, you told us that you're from Knoxville. Marianne, where are you from?
I am originally from Millville, Kentucky.
Millville?
Which is Woodford County, one county over. So.
And for both of you, how has the transition been? I mean, I know you're pretty close, but Adam, coming from Knoxville, how has that been?
Oh, it's been great. I think UK is such a welcoming community that the transition through this new normal that we have, working virtually for the first month or two, and then relocating, buying a home, doing all those things here in Lexington, it's really exciting.
Yes, well, we're happy to have you. For academic support resources, what is available to students?
So when you really think about academics, I like to think about this as an all-encompassing type of approach. So we have the tutoring resources through, transformative learning or through the colleges, so that academic piece. But I also want people to remember that academics is holistic. So we have things like, being able to talk to someone in the counseling center. We think about wellness and being able to engage in mindfulness practices. Really holistically thinking about all of those things that a student needs to be able to kind of take care of in order to do their best and in order to be their best. And so really when we think about students preparing for finals, we want them to take care of themselves. We want them to be able to get that extra polish or that extra information to prepare with, maybe working with a tutor or, following up with a faculty member to say, hey, could you review that concept one more time? So we really encompass quite a bit when we think about helping our students prepare for finals.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways that I try to remind myself of all day is that students live here, we work here. And so all aspects of student life, from the root to the fruit, is presented, and those opportunities are here at UK. And it's really our job to help facilitate that and to ensure that students take advantage of the supports and the resources, all of the guiding, all of the connection, all of the opportunities for belonging that is here for them at UK, because it's all about preparing. You're graduating, preparing for life after. And these same resources exist in the bigger world, but you have to be more proactive to find them. So kind of our job is to help you prepare for when you're going to have to find those resources later when you become a professional.
That's really good. I love that. And I know for myself, throughout just being here in college, there are so many resources. Personally, I use like the writing center. I had a lot of papers that were due, and I just needed help, making sure I was making complete sentences and just very basic writing structure. But I think it's very true that a lot of times we do have to reach out.
Yeah.
But I feel like UK has done a very good job, whether that's professors giving their syllabus and that has the resources listed out for students to find. That's very easy. But when it does come to the real world, sometimes we're not given those resources in our hands. And so what is a way, I think a lot of times too, some students, especially those who have exceeded academically and excelled in high school coming to college, there might be a stigma attached to like tutoring services, writing services, whatever it may be. What would you say about why it's important to ask for help when we need it?
So I think that point, and to Adam's point, asking for help is a life skill. So at some point, everybody's going to have to ask for help. And so why not practice that while you're here? And, thinking about when I talk to students about the importance of going to something like tutoring or going to some type of event, if I want to be a runner, I'm going to hang out with other people who run, right? Because my chances of picking up on tips or actually going out for a run increase because I'm around other people who are doing that, right? So going to tutoring doesn't mean that you necessarily don't get the concept. Sometimes it's just, hey, I want to hang out with other people who are also thinking about this, who are also trying to put all these things together, because I might be able to help someone, right? Because if you can teach it, then wow, you really do know it. But also I get a chance to kind of take things to the next level. I can bounce an idea off of somebody else who's thinking about this.
Yeah.
And so you're creating a community to help you kind of take your thoughts and your understanding of things to the next level.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think, it's different in high school, right? It's more reactive. Oh, I'm struggling in this class, so I go get help. This is all about finding the lifeguards before you get in the pool, right? That's how life is. I mean, if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't know how to grout my bathroom, right? I mean, we YouTube and ask for help and ask for coaching for everything in our lives.
Yes.
Whether it's the person that helps take care of my yard or the person that fixes my car, we're always doing that. And so I think college is more of a mirror of those expectations as you prepare for life after, that there are people who are experts in things and you want to lean on them. And like Marianne said, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. At the end of the day, if I can hang around with people who are like-minded, who care about their academics like you do, or are planning for life after, who are being community-minded, then I'm going to be a better student, I'm going to be more engaged, and I'm going to be prepared for the next step.
Wow, I'm surrounded by such amazing wisdom this morning. Guys, this is amazing. This is so good. How would you even almost like encourage students that they do have something to offer? Because like you were saying, in these environments, they're able to bounce ideas off of people and even getting to the expert to know and grow in their knowledge as well. So what would you say to a student to encourage them to step out?
I mean, this is the place that you're going to grow, and this is the safe place to do that. And so, putting an idea out there and getting feedback, or, going to a professor and asking for that help, or, hey, I'd really be interested in taking things to the next level. Could you help me find a research project or an internship? I mean, this is that time span and the place that has all of those opportunities available to you. When you leave the institution, there are still those types of opportunities. They're just not as easy to get to. And so really take advantage of the fact that you have people here who want to support that, encourage that, and can help guide you on how you do that. Because that's really, that's what gets us excited to get out of bed every day, is to be able to help a student say, you know what, I want to go a little bit further. I want to do something. Absolutely, this is what we're actually designed to do.
Yeah, and I'll just echo that. This is the one time in life you get a reset button, and you get a chance to define who you want to be as a person, as a leader, as a professional. And you have this whole, it's like Golden Corral Steakhouse. You walk in and you have all of these choices, and it's okay to sample different things. And it doesn't all need to be academic. It can be student organizations, it can be faith-based things, it can be community things, and help define who you are.
Yeah.
Because really, the only time as people in the United States that we're forced to live with each other every single day is college. And this is an opportunity to separate from your family, separate from the home community you're from, to decide what your values are, what you want to do with the rest of your life, and how you want to contribute. And that's the really cool part of being a student at UK.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. College and being here at UK has been the most transformative time for me. And I think too, a lot of times students forget that professors and people who do have resources are literally just people. Like you guys were our age at one point, and ultimately you just have a lot more tools under your belt. And so it's so great to know that, again, UK really does have this care culture for students, but also to see each other as a community really thrive and be successful. And so I'm very grateful for that. And just even hearing what you guys have to say, it's like, yes and amen. That is so true.
Well, I think one of the interesting things you mentioned, I remember when I was in 3rd grade and I was at the grocery store and I saw my teacher at the store and I was just shocked. Like, I thought she lived at the school. And oftentimes, even in undergrad, we find ourselves forgetting that people have chosen to dedicate their lives to this field. We love developing young people. We love hearing young people's stories. We are good with, most of us have had our own ups and downs and struggles. That's why we've chosen this foot washing work as our life's work. And so we enjoy it. And so we'd love for students to say, hey, tell me about this. Hey, can you help me with that? We tend to, Marianne and I talk to students wherever we are and just say, what's going on with you? You know, and just form those relationships, which to us is the reason that we get up in the morning.
Wow, that is so encouraging. And it is a lot about building these relationships too. Like, yes, we're here to learn what we want to learn and grow in the specific area academically to take it into the real world. But a lot of times too, we might put a barrier of, you know, between real relationships too and doing life with people. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And so it's really great to even hear that from you, Adam. What are some tips that you guys might have for students as they prepare for final exams?
Take a deep breath and remember, and I kind of use an analogy of like sports, like you don't have your hardest practice the day before the game, right? The day before the game, you kind of polish up on some things that you might need some work, but the real hard practice has happened, you know, weeks before. And so really try to spread that out. Don't cram, don't think you're going to be able to get everything in all at once. Ask for help and take care of yourself. Make sure that you don't get, you know, so focused in on your studies that you're forgetting to take care of yourself, because you're not going to be able to do your best work unless you are at your best, and that includes taking care of yourself.
Most definitely, yes.
Yeah, it's going to sound crazy, but it's not that. We've learned in this last year, when we've seen all these dueling pandemics in our world, what is serious, life and death, serious, well-being, serious. How you do on a final is important, but you have to breathe through it. And so, like Marianne said, taking care of yourself, knowing that if you don't take care of yourself and you're tight, you know, like my daughter used to run track, and we would always say, you know, the last 50 meters, you really need to loosen up, because if you tighten up, it's going to be harder and you're not going to achieve the goals. So really to take time, to take breaks, to do it in pieces, you know, really rejoice in the process. You're going to graduate in a couple months, and I guarantee you in 2-3 years, you're going to be looking back, man, that was fun. Man, that was great. No, I don't want to take finals again, but that process was so much fun. The person I am now compared to 5 years ago, completely different person.
Yeah.
And that's really the joy. Marianne and I don't remember how well we did in a final exam. I don't remember, but I remember the experiences and the process. So really to focus on that and to know as a community, which is the really cool thing, we're still here. And we've thrived during this pandemic. And it says a lot about UK, and it says a lot about all of our students.
That's so good. And what would you guys even say to parents? What are some things that you would offer them to support their students in their academics?
Check in with them, you know, make sure that they know that you're there to support them. to remind them that it's okay to ask for help, encouraging them to start the process early, and just reminding them, along the way that they've been studying, for this, they've been preparing for this, and that they can do it, to be that source of encouragement and that place that they can go to know that when you've had a really long study session, like, hey, you can do this, you are capable, you are smart, you have done the work, so let us see the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, I think all of that, and then being that one source of unconditional love. That no matter what happens, I got you. So many students think, well, if I don't do well, I'm going to disappoint X or I'm going to disappoint Y. If you let some of that air out of the balloon and know that with my kids, Daddy gonna love you no matter what. I mean, you could be a jerk. I may not like you sometimes, but I'm gonna love you. And just knowing and saying, okay, we can break it up. We need to rely on our training, on our coaching, on our practices. And then in the end, no matter what happens in this 2-hour time span, it isn't a measure of the value as a human being that you have, in particular for me as your parent. I'm gonna love you either way. And if you do poorly and you don't do as well as you would like, we'll be here to coach you through it. And that's really the cool thing that not only we partner with parents to do, but we do as a community. No matter if when the exams are over, we'll continue to have relationships with students and say, okay, you didn't do as well as you expected. What do you think you could have done differently?
Yeah.
Let's go back 16 weeks and let's start from the beginning and see what could we have done differently so we could have produced a result that maybe you were more satisfied with. And I think that's really the learning process, and knowing that this is it's just a process of learning all the time.
Yeah, and I think too, it's very important to know we're not perfect, both students and parents. And even talking last time with Corinne Williams, just saying how like parents ultimately do want to see their children succeed,
Absolutely.
And so even as a student, just reminding myself, yes, my value doesn't come from my work, but in this process, how can I learn and grow in those shortcomings or in those times of just adversity, and being able to continue moving forward.
That's right.
So that's very good. Personal question now, what excites you most about your position, and what has brought you hope in the last year?
So I get to work with amazing team members, as you can see today, but really I'm here for the students, and so that's why I entered higher education, was to be able to work with outstanding students like you and all the students who we serve here at UK. And I think what's really brought me hope, and what gets me out of bed, and what's really been exciting to see, is we have amazing students who during a pandemic have found a way. They're continuing to learn, they're continuing to find new ways to do things, they're continuing to build community. They are doing so in a safe way, and they're watching out for their community members to make sure that everybody is being taken care of and that they're looking out for each other. And to see that type of just strength during such a challenging time just really reminds me why I got into higher education, and one of the great joys that I have, because I see our students do it. I see my team members who have done that. As a university, we've approached this pandemic in a very different way, to say we're gonna all get through this together. And that's just been really cool to be a part of and to watch.
Yeah, I think for me, it's because I was not a good student, let's just be honest. And there were times that I got caught in all of the spider webs that are there. I didn't know the difference between a college and a university probably till I graduated, right? I mean, that's complicated. And so it excites me as an opportunity to build partnerships and coalitions across our fantastic institution, but then to also work to build bridges between the institutions and the programs and the colleges to ensure that our students aren't unintentionally running into spider webs. Oh, that hit them in the face. And then all of a sudden you realize, man, this system doesn't work for our students in the way we want it to. So it's really that opportunity to speak for students, to be that voice for students, that voice for our advising community, and build partnerships and coalitions that can really be a pillar, because like Marianne talked about, UK it's just amazing what UK has done through this pandemic and through the issues around social justice and racial healing in our country. It's just been amazing how UK has leaned into those things and grown and thrived. It's really exciting to be a part of that community, but then also to take UK's advising and student experience to being the one that people emulate. Not just the basketball court and the football field, but we want to go there. Like the work that UK is doing in relation to student success, in relation to all students in our Commonwealth, is really a pillar and a best practice nationwide, which is really exciting to me.
I just love hearing both your hearts for just your work and even being here at UK. It really is amazing. So I've just appreciated so much this time and really getting to know both of you even more. As we finish up, I just have one more question for you both. What are you most looking forward to in this upcoming academic year?
Ooh.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know it's a tough one.
Every year, I mean, we have an opportunity to change new lives. So we get a new class of students in, and the sad part is, we see students who graduate like you're getting ready to, and it's exciting, but it's also sad because I know that, students are going to go and they're going to live their lives and they're going to do amazing things and change the world. And that's what we want, right? We want those students to have that opportunity. That's why we're here. And so in the fall, we have new students who we get to start that journey with. And that to me is the true honor, is that they've selected us and this institution to be a part of their journey.
Oh, well, in the faith, you talked about parents. I mean, I have 3 kids, and I can tell you, whether your child's 8 or 18 or 28, you still love them like they're your baby. And so the faith that families put in us by giving us and trusting their most precious asset, trusting us with them, is exciting, daunting, but it's great. And I'm also looking forward to what the new normal brings. I think a lot of older people my age keep talking about getting back to normal. The young people know and can craft what our new normal is going to be. It doesn't have to be what it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You have agency to decide what the new normal is, not just for our institution, but for our country and our world. That's amazing, and it's exciting. And this is kind of the epicenter for that change, higher education in the University of Kentucky. So it's a really exciting opportunity going into another school year.
Yeah, everything is definitely super new for everyone.
Yes.
And like we've mentioned, and like everyone has experienced, it's been tough and it's been challenging, but it's been so amazing to see how all of us here in the UK community specifically have worked together, and just being excited for just this new hope of what the next academic year and semester is going to look like. And so very excited. Again, thank you both so much, Marianne and Adam. It's been a pleasure getting to know both of you even more. And it's so sad because now I have to graduate and I won't be able to see you as much.
We're always
Oh,
here.
no, we got
We're
you,
here.
sis.
I'll have to visit you both.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone who was watching today. I hope you enjoyed this wisdom just as much as I have. But we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you again for your time.